Welcome to USB Hole, the podcast where we talk out of our asses. I'm Chill.
I'm the child.
And today we are going to be playing ketchup, which is the child's favorite condiment.
Ew.
We haven't seen each other
Disgusting.
in a couple of weeks because I was in Illinois, so we haven't talked too much. We wanted to keep it on the hush hush so that we could talk about it for you.
Yeah, and I got a haircut, and I'm no longer a raccoon for the video version. Listeners,
She
just
got that in
whatever. Just know I
beta.
got a haircut.
I'm jealous about it. The haircut and the beta.
You jealous about my haircut?
I'm just jealous that you got a haircut. I just always want to cut my hair, but I don't want to pay for it. So
You just got a haircut like last month.
I know, but like regularly. That was the first haircut I got professionally in over 3 years.
Oh, see, I hate getting my hair cut, so it's not something that's exciting for me usually. But I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it short or grow it out. And in order to do that, I had to cut it again to see if I liked it. So I can
Decisions.
decide. Yeah.
Did you make a decision?
No,
Oh, okay.
I
That
hate
tracks.
every bit of in between, and I don't want to get a haircut every week because my hair grows so fast.
So does mine.
I only like it like the day it gets cut, and then in between I hate it. But my hair used to be so long. I don't remember if I cut it before or after we became friends. But,
Like way after.
okay, so it was so long. Well, even then, it wasn't as long as I used to keep it, but it just gets so hot here, and then it gets in these giant knots because I refuse to brush, and I just put it in a hair tie and leave it like that for like 2 weeks. Like shower with my shower cap on, and it just becomes this big old mess. And so that's how I wound up cutting it to begin with, because it was in a knot and I didn't want to deal with it, so I just cut the knot out.
And I'm the person whose hair just like falls out all the time. So like my shower drain is just always clogged and I have to wash my hair like every 2 days. So it was pissing me off. So I cut it and now I just rip it out if it's coming out.
Oh my god.
Well, it's better than it going down the drain. The drain has still been clogged for like 7 months now.
Yeah, that would drive me nuts. I wish I lived closer. I would totally fix that for you.
We've tried literally everything. You cannot get in. Like, I've always fixed my own drains because I've always had hair that just falls out all the time. And we've tried snaking it. We've tried using chemicals. We've tried everything. Like, you cannot, we have the tiniest little snake you could find, and that shit still won't fit down the gap. I'm about to lose it.
Huh? Clean out outside.
There isn't. Like, I don't know where it is.
Oh.
And my dad was like, oh, you could just take off the like overflow thing and get at it from that way. We don't have a tub, so we don't have an overflow. So fuck me, I guess.
Oh, so much hair, so little time.
And we just signed another 12-month lease too, so
I guess it's not somebody else's problem.
Nope. It was about to be, and now it's not.
Yeah. Okay, well, tell me about your trip, because I had to not even get to hear about stuff.
Like, yeah, I only gave you little tiny bits.
I know, and in the last episode where we talked about your trip, like before we talked about the fact that we were going to talk about your trip on the next episode, you told me that you would send me some food pictures, or you would save food pictures, or you would tell me the restaurant and not what you got. And you only told me like 2 things for the whole time you were there, because we barely talked and I didn't like it. It was weird. I tried to get information about Eddie to avoid hearing about you, but to still be able to talk to you.
I have a tendency, as you know, to forget things. And if I'm doing something, forget that I was going to do something else at the same time. So instead of a before and after picture, like when you're doing a project, I don't remember to take pictures of my food. So I have nothing. But the first night, not the first night, like the third night we were there, I just had Culver's, and I'm pretty sure I sent that to you. And that was probably the only one that you would actually be able to see in person on your own. out of everywhere I went, like that was probably the only one that you actually have in Florida as well. So
Yeah,
that picture was
because
useless.
I had to send photos to you recently because you always talk about Culver's and I had to go try it for the first time because of that.
Yeah, but you didn't even get the good stuff.
What do you mean I didn't get the good stuff? I got like everything. Like we got like we got a burger to share. We got those cheese curds to share.
Oh,
We
I thought you
got
guys got chicken. I didn't know you got a butter burger.
no, we got a burger to share, cheese curds to share, and the pretzel things to share.
Those pretzel things are good. I didn't even know they had
They
those for
were
a
good. I
while.
can't believe they came with a whole fucking side of cheese for
So
$4.
much cheese.
Yeah.
I am still to this day constipated from this trip because of all the fucking cheese in the
I'm so
Midwest.
sorry. I wish cheese constipated me.
It usually doesn't. So now it's just like, I don't know. I'm so used to not eating that type of food that it's just messing with my bowels. I don't know what's happening. I'm not going to start getting into shit again.
I know we'll get yelled
Every
at.
fucking
Um,
episode.
I'm trying to, I'm so bad at searching text for a specific thing. I'm trying to search for
Yeah.
the text where I specifically told you, write it down so you don't forget, or make a note so you don't forget. And you're like, I'll remember. And then 2 days later, you're like, I forgot to write stuff down.
No, I told you that I was writing stuff down in my notes app because I have like a huge thing from the first day, a huge thing from the second day, and then nothing after.
Yeah, you
Because
stopped writing it down.
nothing that exciting actually happened. I mean, it's the
Literally,
Midwest. Why do you think I left?
you told like you teased at something, um, but then I was like, oh, right on. You're like, oh, wasn't that exciting? I'm like, well, it sounded like it would have been exciting.
Well, pretty much nothing I do in the Midwest is exciting. I was trying. I really was. I was like, Eddie, text people. Eddie, do this. Like, let's go do
Yeah,
this. And nothing. We had nothing. And then it was snowing and I hate it.
I know. And you kept sending me pictures of the snow, and I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. And you're like, ew.
I fucking hate snow.
You hate it, and I don't. Um, and I had to keep saying, oh, what is Eddie doing?
Literally nothing.
Yeah, it pretty much was the answer every time. Like at the
The day,
wedding, I was like, oh, tell Eddie to remember stuff like he can remember things.
I mean, the wedding was fun, but that was just like the first day of my trip. And then after that, it just went downhill.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice to see everyone. That was the main goal of this trip, was just to like see all our friends and family, because we haven't been back since July of 21 when we left.
Mhm.
So we just kind of every day asked different people if they wanted to hang out. Well, I did before we left to make sure people could get off work. And then Eddie texted people the night we wanted to hang out with them and no one answered. So, well, some did answer. Chris actually came and picked us up, but we didn't get to see like many people. Oh, my phone's by the speaker. Whoops. So the most exciting thing happened on the plane or in the airport on the way to Illinois. So at LAX, I was at the very tail end, and I already told you this because I was so fucking baffled.
Mhm.
I was at the very tail end of my period. So usually when that happens, I just put on some like period underwear with a little liner thing already built into it instead of wearing a pad or a tampon. So it's more comfortable. And so I was wearing one because I was like, I could just wear this on the plane, not have to worry about anything. We go through TSA and I walk through the little x-ray thingy where you gotta hold up your arms. And I walk out and the lady is like, please stop and wait, which they usually do because they have to let the scanner do its thing. And I was like, okay. And she's like, well, I'm gonna have to pat you down. I was like, okay, why? And she turned me around, and on the scanner, there were big red dots right on my crotch and my butt area. And I was like,
So
what?
yeah, like, and then they like embarrass you over something that's like, okay, I mean, I get they have to do their job and make sure there's nothing there, but it's like you're already so frustrated because you're having to deal with this shit that not everybody has to deal with. And like traveling and then like, all right, now everybody knows I'm on my period. Cool. Like I'm menstruating.
I literally didn't care. I just thought it was funny. But
Yeah.
like she was like, okay, do you want to go to a private room or do you want to do it right here? And I was like, well, that depends on what it entails.
Yeah, like what's
But
it?
yeah, so I was like, well, let's just do it right here because then I'm assuming she's not going to make me get like naked or anything.
Mm.
So she's like, okay, stand like this. And she showed me how to stand. She's like, I'm going to use the back of my hands only. And then started feeling me up in like 4 different ways. Like I had to stand like, warrior pose and
Mhm.
yoga or whatever. I had to stand like that and then like sideways spread, whatever. And I was like, okay, I don't understand what the point of this was. And obviously I wasn't mad at her. She was just doing her job. But I didn't understand the point of it because if I have like a heat signal from the x-ray on my crotch and my butt, that's 2 holes. What makes you think I didn't shove something up them? So what is feeling with the back of your hands gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't feel if there's something up my hoo-ha. Like, what?
Or she just kind of could tell what it was, but had to do the pat down anyway.
I'm thinking like they've run into that before, so they probably know, but
Yeah.
I mean, all it shows you is a red dot. There's no
Yeah.
specifics of anything. Like it could have been in me, it could have been like around me.
Yeah.
How would she have known?
That's why, like when you first told me about it, I was like, I'd have been pulling down my pants. Look, I'm a period underwear. Like I have no shame. There's nothing to be ashamed of when it comes to menstruation, but I don't want to be held up at the airport because you have to pat me down just because of natural bodily function. I would just straight up drop trow in the middle of the fucking TSA line. I don't care.
They probably would have arrested me, and I wasn't into that. So,
They would have been like, ma'am, that's not what we want you to do right now. Go to the back of the line.
well, it was funny because on the way there, like the guy in front of me got stopped too and like pulled off to the side, and he actually had to go to a room. But I'm thinking it was more of what was in his backpack when it went through the scanner than like him.
Oh, jeez.
And then back when in October, when we went to Austin, the person in front of me went through the thing and got automatically like randomly selected. And I was like, that could have been fucking me. So I am just like missing all these things by one person. So I was okay with a pat down as long as they didn't take me to another room, because who knows if you're going to come back out. So that was what happened at the airport. Other than that, it was just boring sitting there drinking coffee for 2 hours.
At the airport?
Yeah. Because you got to get, if you're going to check a bag, you're supposed to get there early. So
Yeah.
I was bored.
Quick unrelated question about the airport.
Yeah.
At LAX, when you go through TSA, do you have to take your stuff out of your bags, or do you just put it all in there together and go through now?
They just put it all in.
So
unless you have like a laptop or
yeah, so
electronic.
I hadn't flown like until we went to Austin in October. I hadn't flown since before the pandemic.
Right.
So I mean that's a little bit. I used to fly several times a year or several times a month sometimes. But so up until then, like I hadn't flown for a couple of years. So obviously things have changed. So when I was at TPA leaving to go to wherever the hell I was going on the way to Austin, it totally changed. And they're like yelling at everybody for not following the directions. But I'm like, it's so drastically different. You literally take nothing out. You put all of your stuff in one bin, whether it be a purse, a backpack, laptop, cell phone, computer, anything, your shoes, everything all in one bin. You don't take anything out of your bags. And you put it in and you go through.
Did you used to have to take everything out of your bag?
You used to have to take out any electronics, like a cell phone had to be separate, chargers had to be separate, laptops had to be separate. All that used to be separate. Like if you had like wireless headphones, now it had
only if it's big electronics, like big laptops or big like iPads. Everything else is fine.
Even laptops, they're like, no, leave it in your bag and put all of your stuff in one bin. Like you couldn't use 2 bins if you had like a backpacking like your shoes or whatever. They're like, no, put it all in the same bin. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's no
weird.
signs like ahead of time telling you, hey, things have changed. But then when I was leaving Austin to come back here, I had to take my laptop out of my bag. And I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck? Can you get it together? Can we get the same protocol at all the airports so that we know
they're
what
not
we're
gonna.
expecting? Like, get it to fucking together.
Well, when I went, I mean, LAX, even though belief is different, LAX isn't that bad of an airport. Getting in sucks, but like going through the airport itself isn't bad. And like we went through TSA and you do have to take out your laptops, any big things, but like I could keep my Apple Watch on going through the x-ray machine. Like
Really?
you have to take you have to take everything
Dang.
else out of your pockets, but you can leave this on. And that's how it's been for a few years now, but and you can use as many bins as you want as long as it's not like stacked. Like you can't have a backpack and then put your shoes on top of it because it could fall over. So if you don't have room, you should use two.
Yeah, that's what it used to be like here. And then they changed it. And they're like yelling at everyone, leave your stuff in your bags. I'm like, that's so the opposite of, you know what I mean? I don't know when it was changed because there's no signs about the policies or whatever. But
I just
anyway,
feel like
sorry.
some airports are way worse than others. Like O'Hare is my least favorite airport out of all of them. The TSA agents are so mean. Like LAX, I don't know why they get such a bad rep because they've always been super nice. Like even the lady who had to pat me down was super nice. And they just like don't care. But then you go to O'Hare and everyone's just like yelling at each other and they're so mad. And I don't know why. Like they'll just yell at you even if you're not doing anything wrong. If you're taking 1 second too long for them, they're like, go over there. What are you doing? Go over there. Go over there. And it's like, okay, you're making me not be able to do anything because I'm overstimulated now,
Yeah, like everyone's already panicking and then you're just like
making it so
adding
much
to it.
worse. Yeah. And then at O'Hare with the bins, you can put like a bunch of small stuff in the same bin, but any like big carry-ons have to be in its own bin. And you still have to take out laptops and stuff. But like, so I had a backpack, and so I put the backpack in, he grabbed it and he's like, okay, next bin. And I was like, okay. So then I put my purse in the next one and I figured he was going to take it because he was saying like one thing per bin and he didn't take it. And so I put my shoes and coat in there too. And then he took it. I was like, what do you want from me?
So gross. Taking off your shoes. I
Right.
hate that. I don't mind having to
I
take them
know.
off to go through. Like I get that part, but just like then you're putting your bare feet where everyone else's bare feet are, and it's just so gross.
I
Like
always
I
wear
don't
socks
even
to the
go.
airport.
I know. I'm saying like I don't wear socks, so I normally will put a pair on for the airport. And when we went to Austin, I fucking forgot, and I had to be straight up barefoot in there. And like
Ew.
the guy in front of me and me were joking around about how disgusting it was because he did the same thing because he was wearing sandals.
Oops.
But like yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
even in
never forget.
hotels,
Mm-mm.
I don't go barefoot.
Nope.
But I don't wear the only socks I own, I call them hotel socks because I only wear them at the hotel because I won't be barefoot at a hotel, but I don't wear socks with my sneakers.
I don't want to step on any of those places
Yeah,
barefoot.
it's so
Nasty.
gross.
Yeah, I'm pretty good about that, but that's because I mostly wear socks anyway, but
Yeah.
make sure.
All right. So tell me about the wedding. I need all the deets. I want the juicy gossip.
So we get to the hotel Friday night and we kind of just like headed straight to our room because I knew there would be people there that I know. And I just got off like 9 hours of being in an airport and on the plane and stuff and did not want to talk to anybody. Probably rude, but that's okay. And like we were both on medication because I get motion sickness and blah, blah, blah. We already know this. So we basically got settled in, walked to Portillo's because it was the only thing within walking distance and we didn't get a car. And then we came back and fell asleep at like 8:30, which was technically 6:30 California time. And then pretty much slept until the next morning. I mean, it was very on and off sleep. It was shit, but had to sleep off the fucking airplane. So then we woke up. What did we do? Basically got ready, I guess. I almost threw up that morning. I don't know why. Like, I have a fear of throwing up, so I don't do it. and I'll sit there and just like keep swallowing until it goes away.
Oh God, I wish that was a thing.
No, you don't, because you would feel so much better if I would just throw up. And I tell myself that, like, if you just go do it, you'd feel a million times better.
That's
And
what
I
I do.
cannot do it. I can't.
I'm just like, nope. I force myself to throw up if I feel like I'm going
Yeah,
to.
I should. I just can't. And I easily could have just walked to the toilet and just opened my mouth and it would have gone out. But
I'm thinking
I didn't.
probably a mixture between the motion sickness, travel anxiety, and then anxiety of
I don't
going to
have
the wedding.
travel anxiety.
You need to be in control of the situation. And
I don't think it was anxiety. I've never thrown up from anxiety. I
really?
just felt like absolute shit. And it
Mm.
was super cold out. So, like, I don't know. I think it was just a mix of, I don't know, being tired and all the drugs I had to take, and then eating a bunch of Portillo's the night before. I don't know. But so we got ready. The wedding was at like 3:30, and there were shuttles to the reception hall. So we get on a shuttle, and I don't know if I've said her name on this podcast. It's the girl who ghosted me. I know we talked about her, but I don't remember if I said her
I
name.
do not believe you said her name.
Okay, well, I am going to call her Alex so that I'm not well, I guess it's not doxing her, but anyway, I'll call her Alex. So we get on the shuttle and someone says, "Hi, Dodie. Hi, Eddie." And I look and it was Alex. And I was like, oh God, here we go.
So
So
for reference, if you haven't listened to the Shitty Friends episode, you want to pause and go catch up on that and come back.
yeah, she was the one who ghosted me. And again, I don't think we said her name, but if we did, she's now Alex. So sorry if that's confusing. So I told Eddie beforehand, because he was like, well, how are you going to handle this? Because I told you and him that I think Sam had us sitting at the table with her. And I said I wasn't going to say anything because, one, who cares? We'll just go dance and not worry about it. And two, I know how much it takes for a bride to like be doing all that shit and then someone be like, I don't want to sit there. And that's just annoying. And I know Sam had so much going on and I didn't want to bother her over something so stupid. So I was like, I'm not going to ask her to change my table. I'll just sit there, eat my dinner, and then go talk to other people or whatever. So I told Eddie beforehand, I was like, I'm only going to say hi to her in pleasantries if she says hi to me, nothing more. And he's like, no, you guys are going to like talk and hang out. And I was like, no.
Oh, Eddie.
It's been like 7 years, first off. And also, like, I have no interest in ever talking to her again. Like, I don't care about her or her life. So why would I talk to her? Like, there's no reason to. So I was like, I'm only saying hey, pleasantries. That's it. And he's like, I don't believe you. So we get into the shuttle. She says, hey, I just say, hey, and then turn back around. And so we get there and we're all just kind of standing around because it doesn't start till 3:30. Say hi to a couple people, but most of the people we actually knew were in the party, the wedding party. So we didn't really get to talk to many people. I didn't know like almost anyone there. So the wedding starts. I almost burned my dress on the candles that she had in the aisles because they were real candles. And when you sit down, like, women couldn't, or anyone who was wearing a dress probably shouldn't have been sitting in the aisle seat because all of us, if we weren't paying attention, our dresses were just like dipping down into these candles on the floor.
Oh my goodness.
And I was sitting next to it because I was freezing my tits off because someone kept leaving the door open. And I mean, it's Illinois, so it was like 28 degrees. And so I was like sitting by the candles for warmth. But then one wrong move and your dress will fall into it. So I had to be careful. But the ceremony lasted about 5 minutes. So
dang, that's fast.
Yeah, they pretty much walked down the aisle, said I do, and then everyone walked back. And then we started getting alcohol, so that opened up, so that's fun, open bar. And then everyone was like doing pictures and stuff. I said hi to some of the bridal party since they were just kind of out and about. And then we went and found our table. I was no longer sitting at Alex's table. I was sitting at someone else's table, and Alex got to sit at the table with all of our friends. So, like, the main people that I knew, not just our friends, because I don't really talk to them that much. It's just people I've known. But I was sitting with Kayla and her family, and I know them and they were cool. But I just thought it was funny that all of a sudden I wasn't sitting at Alex's table.
See, you kind of touched on this a little bit in a text, just because I said I needed Eddie to track all the drama, especially since it was an open bar and I was expecting like some fights or something. And I know you said you didn't feel this way, so obviously, if your friend whose wedding this is listens to this, like, you've expressed to me that you didn't feel that way, but it pissed me off that you kind of got cast away to a different table away from all of the friends when you were originally like sitting in one spot. And then I'm like, you spent a lot of money and time and energy to fly pretty far across the country, damn near all the way across the country, take time off of work, get a hotel, get flights and all of that, and to be like cast off to another table to like sit with some other people and not even be by like the group of friends or whatever. Like, that kind of pissed me off.
I mean, I was okay with it because, like I said, they're not really my friends technically. It was just like Sam's friends that I got to know while we were friends back in DeKalb. And it could have been not Alex's or Sam's fault that I had to sit somewhere else. It could have just been how the cookies crumbled. Like maybe the tables were smaller than she thought they were going to be. And I don't hate Kayla or her family either. Like I was fully okay with sitting with them. I just wasn't as close with them as I was with like Alyssa or John or any of them, which I
Yeah.
don't even know if John was at that table, but like I wanted to kind of talk to Alyssa and I didn't get much time to talk to her, which kind of sucked, but it's a wedding, it happens. So basically we just drank a lot that night. Probably had like 8 drinks. 6 of them were gin. 2 of
Ugh.
them were tequila because they
Ugh.
ran out of gin.
Oh, gee.
I was like, Eddie, I think we drank all the fucking gin. And it was funny because we thought we were drinking like a lot and kind of fast because we were one of the first people that were able to get drinks because the line was huge. So we kind of were already getting back into the line when people were just getting their first ones. And so we were sitting at the table and Sam's brother came by and he was like, oh yeah, this is my 6th. And I was like, get the fuck out. Like, how are you already on 6 right now? I can't. So I'm sure he had a fun night, but
Sounds like it.
I tried to make Eddie dance. So I really wanted to dance because it's just fun. I don't really give a shit what people think. And so I tried to get Eddie to dance and he didn't want to. And I was like, okay, well, just come out there with me then. And so he comes out and I try and get him to dance. And I'm not even going to get into it because I don't want to be rude, but I'm never doing that again. So
Like,
then
like slow dance or just like
no,
fun dance? I don't
just
know
like
the
fun
difference
dance.
in
And I was
ways
like,
of it. Okay.
literally, no one cares. Like, just move. And he was not moving. Like, I was trying to get him to move, and I'm not going to get into it because I'm just not. So it was only like a minute of that before they changed the song to the Macarena. And so I was like, okay, so everybody
God,
knows this
horrible.
dance, so we'll be fine. Like, anybody can dance to this. Eddie didn't know the Macarena.
Well,
And I was like, oh my God.
okay, but I think, like, does Eddie go to a lot of weddings?
No, but neither do I. I've been to
But
like
I
3
mean,
weddings in my life, and 2 of them were with him.
I was trying to cut him some like slack and say it's
No,
because
there's
he's
no slack.
young, so he wouldn't know it.
He's 30 years old.
Okay, but
That's not young. Also, it's all because people are afraid to like just dance because they care about what other people think. Just stop caring what other people think. Who the fuck cares? Have fun.
yeah, especially if you guys
Anyway,
had 8 drinks. Shit. I'd have been all
yeah,
over that dance floor cutting a rug if I was
yeah,
drunk.
shit. So the Macarena came on. We were doing the Macarena. I think he finally caught on. And then we were doing the cha-cha slide. And that's
I
a
don't know
little
how to do
easier
that.
because it tells you the steps. So it tells you what to do. So that's an easy one. Anyone can do that. And then what was the other one that came on? I can never remember the name of it. Oh, the Cupid Shuffle. That I will give to him because that one not everyone knows. So he went and sat down and I just kept dancing for a while. So yeah, like I said, never asking him to dance again. And we have a wedding in like a month we have to go to. So anyway, so we just kept drinking, basically just hanging out, not dancing. Probably danced a little. I danced a little bit later. I can't remember what other dances we were doing. He did not play Africa by Toto, and I was really upset.
Is that, yeah, you said that to me, but like, is that something that normally they play at weddings? Like, why were you expecting him to play it? I know
Because
you
they
love
play that everywhere. Almost anywhere I've ever been, that's not just like a certain kind of music when they're playing a mix. Everyone includes it.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna let you know right now, if I ever get married and you get invited, meaning like if we're still friends, because I mean, I'd invite
Wow.
you. If we were friends, I'd invite you. We're not fucking playing Toto at my wedding, okay?
It's called Africa. Toto's the
Toto is
band.
the band. We're not playing any Toto at my wedding, is what I'm
Well,
telling
that's the
you.
only song I know.
Okay, well, we're not playing that.
Why? What's so wrong with Africa?
It's because this is what happened. Weezer did a cover of it a few years ago, and it got played the fuck out because they did a cover of it. So that was playing everywhere, and then people started learning the original song. So then it was just playing everywhere because people were like, "Oh, I know this old song now. I'm so cool." And then it was just everywhere, and it was so played out, and I don't like it. That's why.
Well, if I get married, I will invite you and we will only play Africa in all versions.
The same fucking song over and over and over. Just
Yes.
slow it
I
down.
will walk down the
An
aisle.
instrumental, like a fucking
Instrumental.
string quartet to
Anyone.
play it. Yeah.
Anyone who made a cover of it is getting
Okay.
played.
I'm gonna learn to play it on the fucking alto sax just to play it for you at your wedding.
Can you learn to play it on a recorder? Because I think that'd be funnier.
Oh yeah, I'd actually probably learn to play it on a recorder faster.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you got
Now
it.
we have plans. Cool. So for the rest of the night, basically just hung out, drank a lot, chilled, whatever. Someone stepped on Sam's dress and she fell and sprained her ankle apparently. So poor Sam. And then
That
she
is
got
a
sick
boring
afterwards.
story.
She got sick afterwards too. I was like, oh,
Aw.
this poor girl. She's in a boot and now she's sick.
Aw.
Her wedding. Well, she still had fun, I think. So
Yeah, I was overhyping the sprained ankle thing. That's what I thought was going to be this great fun story, and you're like, no, it was boring.
oh,
I
that was
guess
it.
that's it. Someone stepped on her dress and she tripped. That's not a super
Yeah.
exciting story.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say who stepped on it either because I don't want them to feel bad. I'm sure they feel bad enough.
Was it Alex?
No.
Oh.
So apparently when the shuttle came in the morning, someone said that you were supposed to like sign up for a time for the shuttle back home or back to the hotel at night. And I was like, well, no one told us that. So, because when we came in the night before, they were like, oh, are you using the shuttle? Do you know what time it comes? And I was like, no, I don't know the time. And he went through all the times, just that it was like dropping off, not that it was picking us up. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, I had some people like sign in and stuff so that I knew how many like shuttles we would need, how many
Oh my
times we would have to come
gosh.
back.
Just some people.
Yeah. He was
That
like,
sounds
but I think
organized.
he's like, but I think we're fine. And I was like, okay. So the next morning, apparently, when they were having people get on the shuttle, we just saw it outside. So we just got into it. And apparently, when people were signing up for this shuttle, they were signing up for like the way home shuttle. And I was like, well, we didn't do that. So we're just going to get on it again. Like, no one's checking.
Yeah.
So whatever. So the shuttles were coming at like 9:30, 10, 10:30, and 11. And it was almost 11. So I was like, well, I guess we all have to take this very last one. There were tons of us. So I was like, I hope we all fit. So Alex and her husband get in. And of course, me and Eddie are right behind them. So we just sat in the back with them. And then the shuttle filled up or whatever. And I was pretty drunk. So I was just like doing what I do when I'm drunk and just making stupid jokes. And it wasn't for like anyone in particular. It was just joking around like everyone was doing. But then this guy was starting to be like, oh, women hate me because of this and blah, blah, blah. And he was being super like sexist about it. And I was like, bro, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And then the guy in front of me was like, dude, don't egg him on because it's just going to like make him hate women more. And I was like, well, he shouldn't be saying this shit about women in the first place just because he's like ugly and stupid. And he was just complaining how like women won't get with him and women don't like him. And it's like, there's obviously a reason why.
You're a chauvinistic asshole. Like.
Yeah. And Eddie was like, dude, you literally have your tie tied around your head. Like, how old are you? So we were about to get into a fight with someone like on the
when
shuttle.
Eddie chimes in, you know it's about to go down.
Well, he said it quietly, so the guy didn't even hear him.
Oh.
But I was the one like, bro, you want to fight? I was just like yelling.
Oh my God.
And the guy in front of me was like, stop. And I was like, fuck no. Like, if he wants to fight, I'll fight him. I don't care. Like, is he really going to fight me? No, he's a piece of shit. So I was just like, this is what I do when I'm drunk. Like, don't be a dick and I won't fight you. So that was about all the excitement of the night.
You were just getting drunk and trying to get in fights.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well have your tie tied around your neck. I mean, your head.
No, I don't go looking for fights. When I get drunk, I don't go looking for fights. I'm looking for a fun time. When I get into fights is when people are being douchebags.
Looking for a fun time.
And saying really fucked up shit. That's when I get into fights. I'll fight you if I'm sober. I don't give a fuck. You want to say rude ass messed up shit? I'll fight you when I'm sober. Don't at me. Because I don't know how to fight.
And you also don't know what your tag is.
Yeah.
You said don't at me.
Don't at me. I don't even remember. So that was the wedding. I went to bed, woke up at 4 a.m. with a migraine. Did not get back to sleep for a couple hours.
That was the gin and tequila talking.
Yep. So we went downstairs to get, or not downstairs, we were on the first floor. We went out to get coffee at the cafe, and Sam and then Alex and her husband were sitting there. And I probably rudely interrupted their conversation, but ask me how many fucks I give. 0. So I was just talking to Sam and like pretending pretending they didn't exist. I wasn't trying to be rude. It's just like, because Sam had texted me that morning, like, don't leave without saying bye. And so when I saw her sitting there, I didn't see the other two. They were behind a wall. So I went up to talk to her and just like completely butt into their conversation. But then I was just like, I don't care. So I talked to her while I was waiting for my coffee. I got my coffee. She gave me her room key because she had Tylenol in her room. And I didn't feel like paying $6 for hotel Tylenol. So I walked to her room, gave her a key back, and that was it. Like, I wasn't super rude, imposing or whatever. But so basically, that was it. I took the Tylenol, we got packed up, and then my parents came and picked me up. And I texted Sam and I was like, my parents are here. Do you want to like meet in the like lobby area to say bye or whatever? Because I didn't know if I was going to see her again. And she didn't answer me. And so I went out to my parents' car, and her and her husband were literally pulling up as we were going. She runs out and she was like, I thought I missed you. So or I at least got to say bye. We were supposed to hang out later, but she had like post-wedding stuff to do and got sick and broke her ankle, so she was a
Jesus.
mess.
It sounds
So,
like it.
but
But
that
you
was
had fun
basically it for the
overall?
wedding. Yeah, and then after my parents picked us up, we went to my brother's house, saw my nephews, my brother, my sister-in-law. We all went out to lunch, dinner, dunch, if you will.
Supper.
Yeah. No, not supper. I will
It's
never call it
technically
supper.
dinner. It's actually dinner. If you have it at
Yeah,
between lunch and dinner.
true. So you were wrong. So
Okay.
we went to Village Tavern, the real OG Illinois people know. And that was the weekend.
That's it.
Would you? Yeah. I know. I thought it was gonna be a lot more drama or excitement or something, but
I just feel like you were
it
there so
wasn't.
many more days. Like you sent a picture with somebody's dog.
Oh, I was there a lot more days. I said that was just the weekend. I was there until
Oh.
Thursday.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you're saying that's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Oh.
So
Like
then Monday, what'd we do? Oh, Eddie's dad picked us up and we went to see his grandpa because his grandpa got really sick recently. So we wanted to go see him. And then we went back to Eddie's dad's house and he had the good shit beer that we really love because there's so many like breweries in that area that we missed a lot. So, because even out here, when we go to pick up beer, we get beer from like Indiana. I don't really drink beer from out here, maybe like one or two places, but I don't know. I'm just not really into it. So we had good beer, got kind of drunk again. Uh went out to dinner. Well, first we went to lunch and got chicken gyro. That was good. This is so boring. I feel like this is the most boring shit.
the
We went out to dinner.
libations.
We went out to dinner at a place called the Turf Room. It was good. What'd I have? Chicken
Did they have
pasta,
turf?
maybe? Well, they had like seafood, yeah. We were in
Oh.
not
Okay,
like
never mind.
turf like road,
No, I
turf
was
like
thinking like
surf
did
and
they have
turf.
like fake grass? So like did they have steak and stuff?
Yeah. It was like a
Oh,
steakhouse.
I see.
So they sat us outside because we had like 7 people and it was more of like an enclosed area with like heaters and a fireplace and stuff. And the heat would go on and it would get to like 95 degrees in there. And then it would
Ugh.
turn off and immediately get cold. I was like, y'all need better regulation in here
Like
because it
you're
was
freezing or
weird.
you're sweating.
Yeah. And I liked when it got hot because we were always freezing, but everyone else was just sitting there like dying. I was like, oh my God, this place. So yeah, we were just drinking, eating, hanging out. Tuesday. What the fuck did we do Tuesday? I don't even remember.
Whose dog were you with? I
Oh,
forget.
that was Eddie's dad's dog. They have 3
Oh,
dogs and a bird.
ooh, what kind of bird?
Starling.
I love birds.
And she whistles Andy Griffith.
It's cute.
Did you get the the Snapchat I sent? The bird was whistling the Andy Griffith show theme
I
song.
didn't see that. I only
Oh,
saw the dog.
I thought you commented on it. Anyway.
Maybe I couldn't. There was one that you sent that I couldn't hear it or it didn't play. So I wonder if maybe that was the one.
I think I saved it so I can still send it to you.
Okay, because I don't remember that.
Maybe I could put it in here. It was cute. So yeah, they have 3 dogs and a bird. So it's just a mess. I always had a dog on me. And I'm allergic to dogs, so they had to get me allergy meds because I started sneezing.
Mm.
I still can't remember what we did Tuesday.
Okay. What about Wednesday?
Wednesday we hung out with Eddie's mom and we went and got Mexican food for lunch.
What'd you
And
have with me?
then I had like little chimichanga and then a little like taco.
Yeah.
Because
I
we
like
were
to hear
getting
about vacation food.
well, we were getting our favorite pizza that night, so we didn't want to like splurge on lunch. So I don't know. And then we went to the Morton Arboretum and it was snowing. So it was just like the whole thing was like fields of snow. And usually it has like beautiful plants and trees and stuff, but it's winter, so everything was dead. But we still had to pay to get in.
It sounds like a great decision to go there during the winter.
I mean, it's fun just to drive through. And they also had these really cool statues that were just huge and they all had like stories behind them. I took some pictures of those. They were neat.
Oh, it's a drive-through place?
You could drive or walk.
Oh.
It's cool because during like Christmas time, they have a huge light display that you could drive through or walk through. I think you walk through it. It's really neat. And then Wednesday night, Eddie's mom and her husband came over to my mom's house and we all just ate way too much pizza because I was like, I don't know, the next time I'm going to get Chicago pizza. So I am going to eat a lot.
Did
Could
you
be
eat
why I'm
one and a
still
half
constipated.
slice? Yeah, right.
No, I have like 6.
Oh.
That it's square cut, so a little smaller.
Oh.
But what the fuck did we do Tuesday? I don't think we did much of anything until nighttime when. No, what a terrible person. Mike, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. We hung out with Mike.
Mike, one of our actual loyal listeners.
Yeah.
Sorry. She completely forgot about you.
Terrible. So Tuesday, Mike and his girlfriend Amy came and picked us up, and we went to Crusade Burger in Yorkville. Shout out. Some of the best burgers and shakes in Illinois. And we went there and made the mistake of letting Mike talk us into getting appetizers because they had poutine now, which he knows is my weakness. So I said yes to that. And then we got some like mac and cheese. And usually when me and Eddie used to go, because we used to go every week, and that is why it was so hard for me to lose weight. We would get like a burger and then a shake of our own, but we wouldn't get any appetizers or anything else because that's a lot of fucking food. It's one of those places where they give you a milkshake, but then there's stuff around the rim and then it's piled like a foot high with other shit.
I saw you did put a picture of that on Snapchat.
Yeah. So it had like, mine had a cookie, it had a giant honey bun that had like caramel drizzled on it. And then it had some like cinnamon toast crunch pieces. Mike and Eddie both had like ice cream sandwiches on top of their milkshake. So it just comes with a lot of shit. I had ice cream on top of my milkshake. I don't know. Yeah. So usually we just get the burger and milkshake and then don't eat for like 2 days. But he got us appetizers. So trying to finish that milkshake was like literally pulling teeth. Like it wasn't even enjoyable anymore. I just felt obligated because it's like $15. So I was like, I need to finish this fucking milkshake. But the top stuff, all that top stuff that wasn't melty, I just took it to go because I was like, I'm not eating this right now.
Yeah, that was too much. I feel like that sounds like a meal all by itself.
Oh yeah. Usually people like split the milkshakes and stuff, and I was like, no, I want my own. So I don't even think I ended up eating again until like, I think we had chips and salsa for dinner. Like I didn't eat any real food until we had Mexican food the next day. So that night, Mike dropped us off. We went home. And then that night we hung out with our friends Chris and John, which we only went there for like a little over an hour. But that's when I told Eddie, like, you should have texted people way before we were coming because it's literally a Tuesday night and people have jobs.
Yeah, they would needed to plan ahead or whatever.
Yeah, so at least we got to see 2 of them, but would have been
Yeah.
nice to see everyone.
You're going back soon, but not for as long a time, right?
No, it's only gonna be like 2 days.
Yeah, so you won't be able to fit them all in. Let's do
No,
that. You guys,
I'm probably not gonna see anybody other than maybe my mom and dad. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, because it's like work. It's a work thing, right? So it's not vacation. You're just going for a work trip.
Yeah, I'll leave
You don't have spare
Monday.
time.
No, I'll leave Monday. My parents will probably pick me up at the airport. They did last time. And then I'll have dinner with them or something. And then Tuesday is a whole day of like work stuff. We're going to Top Golf after, I think. And then Wednesday I fly home. So barely 2 days.
Yeah,
And I have to be in Arizona for like 3 days right before I leave for Illinois. So it's going to be a lot that week.
yeah. No downtime.
Nope.
Well, while you were gone, I worked a lot. It was very stressful because it was just trash environment at work the whole time you're gone. And I didn't
How
want
is
to
that different from any day that I'm here?
it like worse, like so much
Really?
worse. Yes. And I didn't want to like completely be bogging you down with all that while you were already up there talking about how the Midwest sucks and it's not a great time. And I want to be like, oh well, listen to my bullshit problems. But yeah, it was absolute trash while you're gone. But the Friday that you left, obviously, I went to that concert. Went to see
Mhm.
Jason Isbell in the 400 unit. It was so good. Like even if you're not a fan, if you were to go to one of their concerts, like you would really enjoy it. For any of the listeners out there, not just for you. Like my mom listens to some of their stuff, like because I'll put it on. So obviously, like sometimes if we're going somewhere in the car, she has to listen to it. She doesn't have a choice. So she doesn't dislike it, but she wouldn't like turn it on her own, really. But she had a good time. She even told somebody, like we went to dinner with a friend a couple days ago, and she was telling them about the concert, and I was like, oh my god, so you did have a
Oh,
good time. Yeah.
how are
The
them
guy
seats?
Oh, the seats were fantastic. So we were in the fourth row, but because of the way the seating is set up, we technically were like in that area. We were the front row. There was nobody in front of us,
Yeah, I saw.
but only 4 chairs lengths away. And it was a no photo, no video tour. So I couldn't even take a photo and be like, oh my God, guys, look. And like, me, I'm not the type of person who's taking pictures and videos at concerts. So yeah, the guy who opened for him, or for them rather. His name is Peter One, and he was from the Ivory Coast, and he speaks French. So the music, like he had a really nice voice. It's like that's usually how I choose if I like an artist or a song or whatever, is based on the tone of their voice. Um, Obviously, I couldn't understand much of what he was saying. Like I took 3 years of French, but that doesn't mean shit when it actually comes to having a conversation in French. So like I would get bits and pieces of like some of the sentences, like the words, but not really be able to put it together. But it sounded beautiful. And like the tone of like the band that was playing with him was really cool. At one point in time, my mom leans over to me and she's like, oh, I took my mom, obviously, if I left that out. I made her go with me. But she leans over to me and she's like, we should have got high.
Oh,
Because of the tone of the music, like it would be like what I imagine would be really cool to listen to while you were like tripping on shrooms. Not
you're
that
just
I
like
not that I do
vibing.
shrooms, like yeah, like just that was just like the feeling, like you're just like I don't know. So she was
I
joking. My
get it.
mom definitely doesn't get high. But so I don't know, I just thought it was funny. But then they were amazing. Like when the actual band came on, they're amazing. And then we were joking that the reason it's called the 400 unit is because they have 400 pieces of instruments in their band that they play throughout the show. The piano player, I don't even know if you would call him that, but he was playing a stand-up piano, 2 different keyboards, and a full synthesizer board. Like it was
Jeez.
amazing. Like he was playing. Oh my ear thing is dying. Hold on, sorry. Um, he he was playing uh the two, like the keyboard and the piano at the same time.
I wish I was that talented.
Yeah, like the two hands, and then the lady who plays the violin, and it really just like amazing also. And then the bassist changed guitars several times. The lead guitarist, probably 7 different guitars he probably played during this concert. And then Jason himself changed like 3 or 4 times. It was crazy. And then they would just go into like these long instrumental breaks that aren't even part of the regular songs. It was just really good, and I just thought it was really cool. And I think that helped my mom enjoy herself, because she was expecting the music to kind of be like solemn, and she always says the music I like the best is so melancholy, and I'm like, well, because you're feeling the tone of like these voices. I don't know, I feel the music.
I'm
The
depressed,
rhythm of my
Mom.
heart.
Get over it.
But it's not all the music I like. It's not like that. But so it kind of, I think, made it a little more fun and interesting, like for her to have a good time. I think she was really expecting it to be boring. It was amazing. And then I had my niece 2 times while you were away, like babysat her, and I put that
How'd that go?
dollhouse back together. She
Did she
loved
love it?
that. Oh my god, you should have seen her face. I could show you a photo, but my sister and her husband and me and my mom and my niece were all sitting there together, and she was like opening the rest of the stuff she didn't open at Christmas. And then I brought that out to her, and her face, like she was like, oh, and it was so cute. And my fucking mom answered a phone call. My mom, like queen of the taking photos and videos of like everything people are doing, especially her granddaughter, answered a phone call at that exact moment, and like didn't even see it, let alone take a photo or a video of it. I was like, did you see her face? And she was like, oh, I was answering the phone. I'm like, dude, the phone can wait. And I got really mad, and I have not stopped giving her a hard time about it. Which, you know, I'll stop. But like the last time I said something, we kind of like now it's like a joke, but it's not, because now she's gonna feel bad. I don't want her to feel bad, but I want her to live in the moment more, you know?
And who answers phone calls? It's 2023.
Dude, she's always on the phone.
I know she is.
Like either her sister or her sister-in-law or any of my 800 cousins or my sister. She's always on the phone with somebody.
I like
So
that my
anyway.
parents will text me because I ain't doing the phone thing.
Yeah. My dad calls me sometimes. Like we text, but sometimes he'll call me just like, it's cute. Sometimes he'll say, I just needed to hear your voice, which is nice. But then he'll be talking to me, and then like I'll be talking to him, and he'll be doing something else. You can tell he's no longer listening. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go then.
Bye. Peace out.
Yeah. So but yeah, nothing else too exciting. Mostly just shitty work stuff, which I'm not gonna complain about here. But yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had more to give, but Illinois is just boring as fuck. I don't know. Like, that's why I left. Like, honestly, I mean, this wasn't a trip where I was trying to go like bungee jumping and
Yeah.
parasailing and stuff. I was just going to see people that we haven't seen in a while, but I don't know, I just in a weekend can have more fun here than I do there. And it's not because of the people, it's just because there's literally nothing to do.
There's more to do, there's more culture, there's more things to experience.
In Illinois, all you can do is eat. And they do have good food, but I just don't want to eat 24/7. That's it.
Yeah.
Or drink.
If you were on a trip recently, you know, hit us up, tell us about your trip at Chill and Child, or give us feedback about this or any other episodes you want to, any other topics you want us to tackle on some upcoming episodes.
And if you live in Illinois, give me something to do next time I go.
Yes. She'll be there soon. And
well, I'll probably be there in June too. There's so many times I'm going back to Illinois. Why?
Just come to Florida.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll talk to y'all next week.
See you then.
Bye.